How Have We Never Seen This Before is a podcast where two best friends watch iconic films and trending TV shows that they've never seen before.
Each week, we discuss a different movie or show from a zillennial perspective.
Okay, as we begin, I have to say that our third co-host is fired because
He's late.
He's late and he's literally wild. And he bites my shoelaces and he bites my fingers, and I just can't have that in the middle of a podcast.
No,
it's unprofessional.
We need a professional workplace here, you know? Exactly. We are the epitome of professionals. If he can decide to show up on time, you know, really put in the effort, he can work his way up again.
Yeah, he'll start as an assistant. I just realized my mic is. I'm sorry if I get so much louder, everybody. But yeah, I don't know. Then he'll make it back.
You know whose story this reminds me of? It reminds me of the story of Ricky Bobby.
The Ballad of Ricky Bobby?
The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. You know, it's kind of funny. It's almost as if we reviewed that this week.
Oh my gosh. I literally just watched that today.
What? No way, me too.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, the bit's over.
The bit's over, but we watched Talladega, can you say
Talladega Nights?
Yeah. I didn't know that, like, it is a real place, right?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, so Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, is a parody of a biopic, like, story, whatever,
I thought it was
biopic, you know? It depends on how stupid you are. How do you say it? Biopic?
Yeah, because it's like a
I know
biographical picture.
I know that's how you spell it, but like sometimes people say it so fast that I never know how you.
But I feel like biopic sounds like a surgery.
Yeah,
I'm going to get biopic surgery.
Yeah, well, essentially, it is a parody of a biopic. You know, the sort of like high, low, high style that a lot of hi sister. You know, the storyline that a lot of classic American movies follow.
Yeah. And as with 2 seasons ago when we watched Step Brothers, I am 99% certain that we watched 2 different movies, even though we haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah, I was looking up like facts about the film, and there is an
unrated version.
Yeah, because obviously there would be if Sacha Baron Cohen's in it, so.
So when I went to like look it up, I watched this on Xfinity, and there were 3 options actually. I had to pay for the other 2, so I went with the free one, and I noticed like this was, I don't know, because I can't tell if they cut things out, but I noticed at one point they dubbed the kids talking.
Oh, good. This will be fun then.
Because I know they were not mouthing what they were saying. It was obvious.
Great. Yep. You know,
so that's all you.
I think that I may have watched the regular version, you know, because I did not watch this movie legally, but it's fine. You know, you got to do what you got to do. I'm not paying for a movie.
Like watching them every week, like, can you imagine having to like, okay, yeah, like $3 for an SD movie every week, but
no, and I'm not watching it in standard definition. Are you kidding? No chance. I will watch it for free, 1080p minimum. Anywho, so I guess we'll get into our first segment of the episode, which is a little quiz that Isabel found for us.
So this week we're doing which Will Ferrell movie character are you, given that we have watched 2 Will Ferrell movies. So I think we're qualified. And this is on Play Buzz. Let's start.
Oh my God, why are there so
Do
many
you see all
pop-ups?
these ads? Goodbye. Okay, well, oh my gosh, there's so many options. Okay, first, what situation best describes your character flaw? I let my personal life interfere with my professional life. I try my hands at many different things that may or may not be the best of ideas. I tend to not speak up for myself, or I go to the extreme and overreact to a situation. I spend too much time focusing on the physical aspect of relationships, or I've let past experiences and behavior affect my current relationship.
Why are these all me? Like, every one of those things is one of my flaws.
This is like the SATs, not which is the correct answer, which is the best answer.
I can't even choose. I'd say, well, this is just like the Gemini in me speaking. I do try my hands at many different things. Like I am a jack of all trades, but I'm not like great at one thing.
Okay. Well, this is going to be all you this week, so we'll go with that one.
Oh, we could. What? We could find
because
happy
like
medium.
every other weeks, like it's you asking me all the questions. So this week I'm asking you all the questions.
Okay, sounds good.
So we'll just see who you are and not put myself through that.
No, I feel like this is easy on you then.
Okay, what best describes your work environment? There's pictures for those of you who can't see, but is it a quote unquote work from home situation? Unpredictable, full of eccentric characters, testosterone driven and highly competitive, professional, monotonous and repetitive, or hazardous and very dangerous?
I would have to go with the work from home vibe. That's me every night.
So number 3, what situation best describes the problems you and those close to you are facing right now? So are you trying to get back into, I guess it's supposed to say doing, an activity after being banned, trying to stop an incident while uncovering something bigger, trying to reconcile how people perceive you after public mishap, trying not to kill your sibling while attempting to keep the family you know intact, or trying to figure out the mysterious force that's the universe and the meaning of life?
Okay, so like I would say mentally, my brain is always trying to reconcile how people perceive me after every public mishap I have. But I do spend quite a lot of time not sleeping and thinking about the mysterious force that is the universe.
That's
so I don't
true.
know.
I think it's the first one.
Really? Okay, we'll go with that.
Okay, what best describes your ideal situation in the future? Redeeming myself and capturing that glorious moment. I think I know what movie that one's like trying to get at. Making amends for past actions and settling current affairs. Becoming independent and cherishing new friends and family in my life. Becoming more comfortable in my own skin and accepting myself. Or moving on to new relationships after failed previous ones.
No,
I didn't mean to let. There was something in my throat right there.
Stop. I think I would go with becoming independent. You know?
Okay.
Do you know? That's like my only goal in life right now. The only goal I have.
That's true.
Isn't that so sad?
No, that's a good goal. Okay, which part of the country do you live in?
The East.
That's like a weird. I've like never like it's the East Coast, but like I would never say we live in the East.
Yeah, but like what if you're from Ohio?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or Kentucky?
I don't know. What is that even like? Is that the Midwest?
Do people even live in Ohio?
Why is it's like the Northeast, the South, and then the West. And like there's the Midwest, but like that's everything in the middle.
But why did they call it the Midwest? Why wouldn't they just call it the middle? I don't get
And there's
it.
no Mideast because
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
Someone explain.
Okay. Okay, we live in the East. All right. What does your typical weekend consist of?
Can we do pre-COVID?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Seeking help and advice on how to stop various circumstances from occurring. Getting into altercations at bars because someone messed with a jukebox. Getting thrown out of an event for being disorderly. That happened to me once, even though I wasn't disorderly. Getting into altercations that require law enforcement intervention. Or figuring out a way to get along with siblings and family.
I don't know. I don't get into altercations at bars. Oh, except okay, wait. One time I went into the bathroom at this bar at my school, and I like went into the bathroom, came out, my friends were with me, and I went to wash my hands in the sink, and I had to like lean over these two girls who were like sitting on the floor, and one of them like tried to fight me because I was blocking them because they were looking because one of them lost their tooth and they were looking for it. This toothless girl tried to fight me in a bar.
Oh my God. I think that could count for like the jukebox one.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay. What quote are you most likely to say? Is this how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
No, that one.
Don't even need to read the rest.
No.
Which situation are you most likely to encounter? Oh, there's no words. I guess like tied up
Kidnapping?
kidnapping maybe, car accident, you're interviewing a bear, and then like road rage.
Road rage. I definitely have some road rage.
Okay. Which activity are you more likely to take part of? Okay, there's no words here either. Going on TV, maybe? Yelling. Playing basketball. Doing your taxes, maybe? And I guess that's a party. Going to a party.
You know, in this panoramic, I think you would get canceled for going to a party, so we can't do that.
In this pomegranate, you have to do your taxes.
Yeah, no, cut the cameras. I think that, therefore, having said all of that, I would be on TV.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking, because
Yep.
none of the rest really makes sense.
Yeah, not in this panoramic.
Okay, which two? Which two? There's only two. Okay. Maybe there's gonna be like more options.
Let's go with
Do you want a Prius or a race car?
Ooh. Okay, I'm trying to save the environment here, so Prius.
Okay.
What?
Which two? Okay. Which quality would those around you say you exude the most? Are you driven?
You can answer this one.
I'd say you're pretty witty.
Do you think I'm witty?
Do you not like that answer?
No, it's fine. I just didn't think that you would say that. Wow, that's such a compliment.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. I was gonna like cover it with my hand so you can see it. You're Ron Burgundy.
Honestly, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
So you are Ron Burgundy from Anchorman. People either love her or there's so much bad spelling and grammar. But it's not your fault that you're sort of a big deal. Remember, someone is always watching, so stay classy.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Okay. That was a kind of bad quiz. My apologies. I don't know why. Which two? Which two?
Which two what?
I didn't want to take the quiz because then I'd know what was coming, you know?
I'm convinced that like a 12-year-old made that quiz.
Definitely. Okay. So, let us begin with the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Oh, but first, we got to go through our characters.
Okay, for some reason, there are so many stars in this movie.
Like, I'll list off who I can remember, and then you tell me if they're on the list.
Okay.
So we've got, I guess I'll just count Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly, Jane Lynch, Amy Adams, that guy who plays Fix-It Felix Jr.
No idea.
Well, anyway, we've got the pit master guy. I know that's like a term for barbecuing, but like it's a pit stop, and like the main guy who's like really big.
Oh yeah.
Then Sacha Baron Cohen. His dad, the guy who plays his dad, is famous too.
Yeah.
I think
Gary Cole.
His name is. And I think that's it that I can remember. Is his wife famous? Like the person who plays his wife?
Yeah, Leslie Bibb.
Oh, Packard.
Oh yeah,
I can't remember his name, but yeah.
I exited out of the tab, so we'll never know.
Yeah, I don't know his name, but yeah, there's so many famous people.
Okay, so getting into the actual movie, we open the movie with someone driving along a country road. It turns out it is a woman in labor and her husband, and he's driving so fast that they skip the hospital, and he slams on the brakes, and it somehow causes
the baby to
the baby to come out. That's what it opened with. Next, we see that there is a kid in school, and his name is Ricky Bobby, aka the main character of this film. And is it Bring Your Parent to School Day? Like,
I literally could not remember what it was called. It's called Career Day. I wrote Parent Job Day.
Bring Your Parent to School. Well, anyway, it's Career Day, and Ricky Bobby's dad is nowhere to be seen. So we find out that he spends his life racing cars and sleeping with women. The dream, apparently. And he also has this best friend named Cal.
I could have sworn they said his name was Brennan, and then later on his name was Cal, and I was really confused.
Oh, so did I. I didn't catch his name at first because it felt like there were two different names going on there. They said they only said it once, so like
yeah,
I think it was just like they're talking to a different kid.
Yeah. I don't know. Sorry. That like really confused me at first.
Yeah, it was confusing. But next, his dad randomly shows up, and it turns out that he is a horrible person. He tells the kids, and I quote, "It is the fastest who get paid and the fastest who get laid." And then he gets kicked out. You know, if I were in high school, I'd make that my yearbook quote.
Those are just some words.
Yeah. He also says, and I quote, and this is the one that you have to remember, "If you ain't first, you last."
That is also true when there are two people competing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, second place is great. Okay?
Yeah.
Second place is not first loser. It's second winner.
And there's also like, nah, never mind. There's like more pressure because you want to be first.
Did you ever say the quote in elementary school? First is the worst, second is the best, third is the one with the hairy chest.
We always said treasure chest, so like you wanted to be third.
No, you wanted to be second. If you were third, you had a hairy chest.
I remember lining up in kindergarten, and like we would say that, and like we always said treasure chest. I don't know.
Well, I guess that your school was better. I don't know.
Anyway, we like skip his entire life then, and we're at a NASCAR race. I like can't remember the word, and like my dad's gonna kill me that I can't remember the word, but like the pit stop guys, He's one of them. He like fills the car with gas or changes the tires in the middle of a race, and they're like the laughing stock of NASCAR racing. And the drivers like, we're in last place, I'm giving up, I'm getting out. And then they put Ricky in the car, and he's an amazing driver. Although like I don't get it, because he catches up with everyone even though they were there waiting for so long that he had to be at least a lap behind.
At least. And also, how does he just know how to drive? Like, it doesn't make
You know how to drive?
Okay,
It's just a big circle.
let me throw you into a NASCAR race and see if you can drive alongside those people and catch up.
It's just a circle. I know, there's like some skill to it, but it is okay. It's an oval. It's just an oval.
No, a lot of it is like, I don't know a lot about racing, but I know that it's strategy, and like where you are on the track is like very much relevant, and like you need to know where you are.
No, but that's where I like get messed up, because like he shouldn't have been near anyone. And like he's instantly in the race. Like he shouldn't have been anywhere near anyone because he was so far behind.
Well, it is a parody, so I guess we can't take everything at face value here.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's like kind of a mess. He doesn't know how to act like after the race and everything, but we find out his best friend is Cal. That's John C. Reilly. And they have this like handshake thing that's shake and bake. So we basically just see the progression of Ricky Bobby's career at this point, and he's always winning with Cal coming in second, because Cal has now become a racer as well. We see Ricky get married to a fan in the crowd, and she becomes his wife.
Wait, she like flashes her boobs at him, right? That was in your movie? Or
yeah.
No. Okay. Just making sure we're on the same page.
Yeah. And we see Amy Adams as his assistant as well. At least from what I can tell, she's like only in this one scene and then in at the very end.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And we also find out after that he has 2 kids. One of them is named Texas Ranger. And and something else. That's what I wrote for the second kid's.
I think Walter.
That's too like normal.
Yeah, I think that's the gag. Let me look it up. Oh, it's Walker, not Walter.
Walker. That's like, I guess that's not that weird.
Yeah. But they live in a McMansion, which I think is so McMansions like kill me. And I know that like, okay, yeah, I used to live in one, but I just love the idea of McMansions and how like trashy a lot of them are, especially in the South. And the fact that he had like a Hummer, like he had a bunch of cars out, like lined up outside his house. That's so funny to me.
So like while we're seeing the house, they're saying grace for like 10 minutes because there's this whole thing that Ricky thinks Jesus is a baby, or like only likes to think of Jesus as a baby, and his wife is like, he's a grown man, and I don't know. But basically, during every grace, he has to mention Powerade as like a brand deal and like product placement. And I would just love to know how much either like funding or how much they had to pay for all that product placement. Like NASCAR is full of that. So like I can't imagine how they got all of that into the movie.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know, I think that was like all of the product placement in there was definitely like what made the movie so funny to me. It like takes it to a different level of like satire when you have that kind of stuff, and like it goes from being just like a dumb Will Ferrell movie to like actually something with like meaning, like making fun of like American culture, like the ignorance in America, and like all of the product placement in sports and like sponsorships in sports and how that plays such a huge role in things.
Yeah. That's so weird because that's literally what I just read about for my US history class for tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. Our like article was on how sports changed during the 1932 Olympics when the US hosted for the first time.
Is it because of sponsors?
Yeah, because they like Americanize it, and it's all consumerism and mass media and stuff like that, which is, I don't know, actually super interesting.
Yeah. And I think it's cool that this movie disguises itself as being like a dumb Will Ferrell movie that's like slapstick comedy, And then you also have like this element in it that mocks American culture, and I don't know. I feel like it's better than some of his other ones that
I
are.
love to mock American culture.
That's my favorite activity, mocking Americans.
Yes.
And the fact that at this dinner table they're all eating KFC and Domino's and fast food, and it's just so funny that like someone who's considered an athlete, a professional athlete with all of these like sponsorships, is supposed to be like really healthy and stuff, is eating like KFC, Domino's, McDonald's, and all that fried food.
One part that like goes through the entire movie that we first see, and while they're at the table saying grace and everything, Ricky's wife's father also lives with them, and he mentions that their kids are being raised wrong because they're like swearing at him, which I wasn't able to hear because it was all cut out.
Oh, they like threatened to kill him actually.
Okay, so they do that. And they're wild, like insane. But yeah, that's where I could tell like I knew I was missing something from this movie.
I think those kids are actually like very.
They made the movie for me, even though I didn't like know what they were saying all the time.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like I know that like they were dubbed over for you, so you might not have like gotten the full acting experience from them. But when I was watching, it was really funny, and like they kind of brought like this realism to the movie. Like they would like talk about things that they're like self-aware about, and so it kind of like breaks the fourth wall in a sense, and I thought that was really clever.
No, I think they were my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah. So now we are back to racing, and it turns out that Ricky Bobby.
He has
Bobby
two first
Ricky.
names. It's hard.
He essentially leaves 2 tickets for his deadbeat dad at every race, and he just never shows up.
That made me so sad.
Yeah, it is kind of sad. And he ends up winning that race by driving in reverse. Doesn't that happen in like either Cars or Herbie?
This reminded me so much of Cars.
That happens, right?
I think so, and I was trying to think, did this come out before Cars or did Cars come out after this?
I don't know. But it also very much reminds me of Herbie. Did you see that one?
I haven't seen that in forever.
That used to be one of my favorite movies. But yeah, so he ends up winning that race in reverse, and people keep telling him that he needs to be more careful with his driving or he's going to actually die, which makes a lot of sense. And so after that, they decide to celebrate, and Cal kind of confesses that he wants to win because they always pull off these stunts together, and it's always Cal that comes in either second or third every time. And so he wants to win, but Ricky Bobby's like, no chance, like I'm winning always. And so he's like, okay, I'm just gonna keep bottling it up then, which is foreshadowing for what happens. You should never bottle things up, people, because it'll just come out in a worse way later. So then all of a sudden jazz music starts playing, and these Southern men are put off by jazz, it seems. They only like country music.
Is this supposed to be the part, like, okay, back to our quiz, is this supposed to be the part where like getting mad about the jukebox?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I thought, at least.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so they start freaking out, and all of a sudden Sacha Baron Cohen walks in with this terrible French accent. And his name is Jean Girard, and he is a gay Formula One driver. And so I guess when these Southern Christian men who think America is the best country in the world find out that he is French and that he is gay, they lose it a bit, because that's pretty accurate for some people in this country, unfortunately. And so Jean is asking what Americans have done for the world, and they cannot name a single thing that is distinctly American. Like they say Chinese food, no. Pizza, no. Chimichangas, no. Because America is a melting pot of many different cultures, which is what makes us special. But
The only thing we've brought is consumerism.
Yeah. And really bad COVID rates.
That too.
And so Jean is like, I've come here to defeat you, to take you down. And so they get into this fight, and Jean kind of pins down Ricky Bobby and tries to make him say that he loves crepes or else he'll break his arm. And Ricky Bobby kind of refuses after trying to negotiate. And so Jean breaks his arm. And then it is revealed that Jean is now his teammate. They have the same like corporate sponsor, I guess. Is that how it works?
No, they have different corporate sponsors, but they're on the same team. Like within racing, there's different teams, and there's usually 2 or 3 people on a team that are racing at the same time.
Oh, thanks. I didn't know that.
But they're like they're also like competing against each other, but you want as many of your team people to be in the, like, you want your teammates to rank high too, but you want to be first and stuff.
Okay. I see. Yeah. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that scene? I feel like it's kind of controversial.
In the bar?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like I get that it's mocking Americans rather than like gay people, but also it's like playing into like gay people being the butt of a joke. So I don't know how you felt about that.
Oh, you just mean John in particular?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like right now it's especially just like talked about with gay people should play gay roles, and like with James Corden and the prom. And like, I agree. I mean, movie was a while ago, and just people just didn't think about it. I felt like it was more so mocking for like French people more than gay people most of the time, except like the whole part about like you have to kiss me, which like happens later on, which is just like weird. Like I don't know, some things like I'm just like what's the point? Like, why do you have this in here?
Yeah.
Like
It
the
wasn't
movie could have been
funny.
fine without it, you know?
Yeah. I also understand that it's supposed to mock like the homophobia of some like people in the South. I get that. Like religious people in the South like obviously have some issues with homophobia. So I don't know.
Maybe
I'm
I feel
conflicted.
like maybe they could have done it, but not like adding the kiss part is just like too far for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like if you want to get away with something like that, you have to make it strictly so the person of the minority here is like the one in power. Like I feel like really successful shows and movies that do that make it so that people who are prejudiced and hateful and bigots, it makes them look stupid. And so I feel like it did that for some of the bits in this, but also at the end when it makes it switches that. And so I feel like in this scene it was okay because it made them look stupid and not gay people weren't at the butt of the joke. But then later
that's
on
what
it does.
yeah, that's what I was getting at, and I said it wait, I expanded it way too much.
Yeah, I just wanted to know your thoughts. I feel like that was interesting to see from like a 2021 perspective.
So now we are at that night's race. We've like found out about Jean being on their team, and it's Ricky's just like being super reckless because all he wants to do is beat Jean. He even like sold his window space like with product placement so like you can't see because there's a giant sticker in front, which is funny. And he's literally like not playing, but like racing like it's bumper cars. He's hitting everyone left and right, and all of a sudden Cal's car dies, so they can't do that slingshot thing. So after Cal's car dies, Ricky hits Jean's car, and Ricky's car flips, and he like thinks that he's on fire, but he's not. He like strips and he's like running through the lanes, the racing lane, and the next thing we see, he's like in and out of a coma in a hospital. And this part was like, so I mentioned this when we watched Never Have I Ever. Like, I just did not understand why they
I
had
knew
to
you were
make
gonna
her.
bring this up.
I just didn't understand why they had to have her be in a wheelchair for like 20 seconds of the show and then never mention it again. And it wasn't even part, like, it never happened to Mindy Kaling. Like, it was based off of her life, and that's why I was like, oh, maybe, but that never happened to her. And I just didn't understand why they added it. And again, here I'm like, why was it necessary for him to be so traumatized but not traumatized, like that he had to be in a wheelchair for 2 minutes of this movie?
Mm-hmm. No, that's very valid. I also like understand. Didn't we find out that it was like actually a condition where some people like
Yeah, it is a condition, but it just didn't like come across that way, at least to me, like when we watched it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
again, here it's like they definitely didn't like look that up.
Yeah. I don't think they needed it, but I get that like it was to show how much his loss impacted him, but they could have done it in a different way.
Yeah, I feel like they could have even just like he could have just stayed in the hospital bed, and like what's the point of putting him in a wheelchair out playing basketball and then like kicking people with his legs?
Yeah. They could have I mean, they could have thought of something funnier than that.
Yeah. And then he can just walk again. So
yeah, it's kind of insulting. Oh, this is also a problem that I had with Step Brothers, but their use of the R slur was
I don't
you probably didn't get that.
I didn't get any either one, so I didn't know.
Yeah, well, it was like the same situation again. And I get that it's supposed to be mocking like bigots in the South. Like I get that. But also at the same time, like perpetuating language like that is harmful. It doesn't matter if it's a joke or not.
Yeah, and like I don't think he would ever say that today, and like it's not like canceling him, because it was like no one was like, people were saying it, but it wasn't being heard by everyone, so people just like didn't think anything of it. So it's not like I was reading into cancel culture earlier, but like it's not like cancel Will Ferrell. It's just like
No.
he knows. No, I'm not saying that you were saying that either,
Yeah.
but he knows better now. Everyone knows better. Like most people know better now. It's like you grow from that, and like you wouldn't see that in one of his movies today.
Yeah. And I feel like that's good. Like
Yeah.
we can see that like back then he said it, he's learned from his mistakes and like he knows now that that's offensive and now it's not in his movies and like that's fine. But I feel like it's good to like mention that to
Oh yeah,
show a little bit about like how things have changed.
yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Anyway.
Fun. So he's out of his coma. He is playing basketball in a wheelchair, even though he can walk. So then his friends tell him that he can walk. They go and visit him and they're like, dude, like you can walk, like just get up. And he ends up stabbing himself to prove that he doesn't have feeling in his legs. And then through this incident, he's like, oh, I can walk, I'm fine. And then just walks out of the hospital. And he needs to rest for a while, obviously. But Cal asks him if he can let him win a few times. And he's like, nope, no chance. It's me. And so he then finds out that he's been kind of like replaced by Jean Girard. And he has another mental breakdown. But yeah, so he then goes back to racing, but he's so scared that he's driving 26 miles an hour and like isn't taking any risks. And so his wife is like, no, I can't be dating someone, or I can't be married to someone who's a loser. So she's like, I guess I'll replace you with Cal. And so the 3 hours that Ricky Bobby's gone, Cal decides to get engaged to Ricky's wife and decides to move in with her. And so they're like, oh, sorry, you gotta go, to Ricky and the kids. And
That
so
was weird. Like, why did they make him kick out the kids?
I thought that was so funny because like the way that he handled it, he was like, will you be my best man for this wedding with your wife? And he's like, why? Why would you think that I would say yes to that? And he's like, well, you can't let our friendship of how many years die because you're
Like,
angry.
you just lost your career, you just lost your job, you just lost your wife. Like, you can't just lose me too.
Like, that is the definition of gaslighting people, you know? So don't let that behavior ever interfere with your life.
Yeah. When he's lost everything, he moves back into his mom's house with his kids. And he becomes this pizza delivery guy, and it turns out, well, he like really can't drive, so he also loses his license, and has to deliver pizza on a bike, and actually ends up delivering pizza to his dad, and gets really angry at him because he's just like now all of a sudden back in his life. And as he's pedaling away, he shouts, "You're not my dad."
You're not my dad.
Yeah, I love that. Anyway,
anyone who knows that Vine, you're a real one.
And later that night, his dad shows up at his mom's house and is like, I can help you get back into a car and get racing again. So like for this part, it's like Ricky getting better, but also his kids getting better because his mom's like, I am not having this. Like, you are awful children. So for Ricky, it's kind of back and forth, but I'll start with Ricky. So for Ricky, the first thing they do is his dad puts a cougar in the car and is like, if you can drive with this, like, you can drive with anything. And then the next step is blindfolding him. And so he drives and he literally hits every car on the street and crashes into a house. And the final one is his dad wakes him up and is like, I put a kilo, I think he's saying, I don't know, a kilo of cocaine taped to the bottom of his car, and the police are on their way. So through this giant police chase, he realizes that he can drive really fast again. And it turns out the cocaine is actually a bag of Lucky Charms.
Nice. It would take like 2 seconds for the police to like know whose license plate that is and find him. So like,
I know.
Why is he not wanted?
Yeah, that literally makes no sense. But at the same time, all of this is happening, the kids start picking up trash on the side of the road, and they do Tai Chi, and they're just like all around great people again.
You know, I love those kids. They're great.
Yeah. Oh, and they also go to church. They become part of the church choir.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good for them. Yeah, so now that Ricky Bobby is getting better at racing, you know, he's befriended the cougar, which he names Karen. He's gotten his license back. His kids are normal. So they decide, what better place to go to celebrate your achievements than Applebee's? Sponsored by Applebee's. That's so funny to me. Like, oh, I love mocking American culture like that.
Of course they go to Applebee.
Have you ever had like the Applebee's drinks, $1 drinks?
No, because I wasn't old enough, and then
COVID.
Oh,
I forgot about not COVID, but the fact that you weren't 21. We'll have to go when COVID's over.
Yeah. I've heard there's strawberry lemonade or whatever.
Yeah. They're really sweet, so I don't know if you'd like it, actually.
No, that's what I would like.
Okay, anyway. So we'll have to go to Applebee's one day, but
okay,
when the Pandora is over. So they're at Applebee's, and his dad starts freaking out because, you know, he explicitly says, like, there's something wrong with me where I have to mess things up, and so I'm gonna head out. And then he leaves. And so Ricky Bobby's sad because his dad abandoned him again. And so he's at this bar. I think the Pit Stop is the name of the bar. and he's playing this racing game that Jean Girard is like the main character of, and his personal assistant, aka Amy Adams, comes up to him and they start catching up, and he's like, I don't want to race again because my dad left me. And she's like, no, you have to race, and gives him this intense pep talk. And somehow, some way, it turns him on. And so they start doing the nasty on the table at this bar, and everyone is freaked out, as one would be.
Does it actually go that far?
No, they don't.
Okay.
It just shows them like heavily making out and making these weird noises.
Okay.
It was very uncomfortable, and I'm really glad that no one was in the room with me when I watched this. Yeah, so that was that scene.
So the next day, Ricky goes to Jean's mansion, kind of to like, I didn't listen to what Ricky had to say to him, but Jean basically said he needs someone to challenge him on the racetrack, and like no one else is doing that. Like Ricky was his challenger, like Katie Couric was to Diane Sawyer.
Yeah. I think he was also talking about the fact that he's just like undefeated. No one can even come close to beating him. So there's just so much pressure on him right now that he like kind of needs to lose, but he won't let anyone win.
Mm-hmm. And it's also like, I don't know if he says this, but like it's not fun anymore when you just like winning all the time.
I wish I could relate. It's not fun when you're losing all the time too.
But basically we're at the race the next day, and his team told him, so they rebuilt his car, and then they tell him that Glenn died, and Glenn is the guy from Wreck-It Ralph. But anyway, they say he died to make him motivated, but he's not actually dead. He's just around the corner, and he just kind of pokes his head out.
That was so stupid.
Like that was funny to me though. But they also repainted the car because he doesn't have any corporate sponsors anymore. So there's a giant cougar on the front, and it also says me. So like it's all Ricky, like it's all me. It's like all him doing it. And right before the race starts, Ricky goes up to Cal and is like, I'm sorry for how I acted and how I treated you. Like I wasn't very good friend. And this confuses him very much.
That was the ultimate power move there. I know he wasn't trying to do it.
I know, it like messed with him so much.
Yeah. I just think it's funny how like so nonchalant he is about the fact that he made so much money, and Cal is just living in his house, like complaining about living in his house and being like, ugh, like this McMansion I'm in is so awful. And I don't know, I just thought it was funny how he was so like nonchalant about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we get to the actual race, and like we said, Cal is freaking out because Ricky apologized to him, and he's like, I took his wife, I took his house, and I kicked him and his kids out. Like, why is he apologizing to me? And so he was really perplexed, if you will, by the encounter, and Ricky ends up passing him. At this point, we also see that his dad has finally come to the race, except, you know, he only came to sell his tickets. But
when I saw that, I was like, oh, and then I was like,
we're making some progress here, you know? And then Cal is ordered by the big boss man to take Ricky out of the race or he'll be fired, but he's like, no. And they're working together on their signature slingshot move. It kind of works, but then Cal gets taken out along with literally everyone else racing. So it's just Jean and Ricky now. And they both crash and start rolling. And the rolling lasts so long that they cut to an Applebee's commercial.
That was so funny.
Chef's kiss. Just like the peak of watching sports. Like you'll see someone get absolutely destroyed like playing basketball, and they'll be like, oh, and now we're going to cut to this what's that gambling one? DraftKings. Now we're gonna cut to this DraftKings commercial where I'm gonna convince you to start gambling. Yeah, so that happened. And so they start spinning. That's spelled wrong in my notes. They start sprinting to the finish line. And
I thought you meant their cars spinning.
No, the spinning has stopped. The sprinting has commenced. And they both leap at the same time. And it turns out that Ricky like wins, but not really, because they both left their vehicles.
Wait, okay. So in this part, so like he wins by a hand. He like reaches his hand out. And in Cars, Lightning McQueen wins by sticking his tongue out.
Yeah.
He goes across the finish line. I need to know. Sorry, I need to know which one came out first. Our co-host is now here. He's wiggling. He's a little wild, but he's here. He made it just in time for the end. He may eat my headphones, but we'll see.
Yes. Wait, so what did come first?
So Cars came out on June 9th, 2006, and Talladega Nights came out on October 12th, 2006. So like
they were both being filmed at the same time then, right?
Well, Pixar they've been working on Cars for a while, but like there's no way they both had the exact like same ideas for that. You know?
I don't know.
Like it's so close.
Yeah, that's so bizarre. I wonder. Because they were definitely wrapped when Cars came out, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I don't know, but that'd be crazy.
Okay. So let's get to the end here. So as Ricky Bobby stands up, you can see an opaque like American flag in the background, which is chef's kiss as well. Like we love to see the details here. I thought that was like very clever for this parody. Obviously, if it were like real, I'd be like, that's so dumb. But it's parody. And he kisses Jean, and they're like buds now. Okay.
Yeah, like I just like, what was the point of that? What was the point?
Yeah. I mean, do French people like kiss each other on the cheek? Maybe something was lost in translation there.
You know, do you remember from French class we had a whole French culture section?
Yeah.
Depending on what section of France you're in, you either do 2 kisses or 4. Yes. Most places do 2 though.
With COVID, that is definitely too many for my liking. But yes, so because they got out of their cars, Ricky and Jean were both disqualified. So the third place winner who stayed in their car is the winner, and that turns out to be Cal. Yes.
Yeah, somehow he's third, even though everybody crashed.
Yeah, you know, it's fine. It's fine. They're also friends again, and it kind of ends with Ricky being with his assistant, Cal being with Ricky's previous wife, and everyone's happy.
And everybody goes to Applebee's.
And everyone goes to Applebee's. And that's the movie.
I like how at least I feel like most Will Ferrell movies, they always do like the bloopers of like them. Did
you know that there is a whole 90-minute like full-length movie of Anchorman bloopers?
Oh my god. Yeah. What is it called when they improv?
Yeah.
Like their lines.
Ad-lib? Improv?
Ad-lib? I think it's both. I don't know.
You could say both.
Both.
But yeah, that was the movie.
I don't know. I didn't like find it like that funny. Like it was fine.
It was fine. There were a few parts that made me like lol, you know, as one would. But I just think like the overall like cleverness of it, like disguising it as like a dumb American movie and like that being the parody is very funny to me. Mm-hmm. Imagine it's not. So what were your overall thoughts?
My overall thoughts? I mean, like, I appreciate the running Applebee's gag, and I appreciate the kids, But like I said, some of the jokes are just like, it's not even like jokes. It's just like the bits, I guess. Just like, what's the point?
Yeah, it's just, I guess Will Ferrell is very hit or miss in my opinion, because a lot of it is like dumb humor, but I feel like this was like the smartest movie he's done that we've reviewed.
Well, out of the two, yeah.
Yeah, out of the two. But also, like, I'm trying to think of one that's like smarter that we've, like, Anchorman, I guess would be, I don't know, it's up there with Anchorman with the satire level.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't as offensive as other movies. Like, yes, there were a few parts that would be considered problematic today, but I'd say like overall it wasn't as bad as I was expecting.
But they also like remedy it, and like I didn't hear half the things you did.
Yeah.
So they're not going to play it with that in it, which is good.
Yeah. Yes. Like when I saw that Sacha Baron Cohen was going to be a gay Formula One driver, I was like, oh my God, like, please,
they could have taken it a lot farther.
Please, I'm so scared of what you're going to say and do. But
yeah,
it was okay for the most part. Well, this has been fun.
I'm like hoping we have like, there's like a good release. I feel like a lot's coming out this month, but it's like the end of the month.
Yeah.
So like, there's going to be some good ones at the end of the month.
No, I agree.
But yeah, go check us out on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and Facebook and YouTube. Honestly, if you just type in "How have we never seen this," they will all show up.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what our @ is; they will be there. Go follow us on TikTok though, because we post like more highlights than on other things. And we're already at like over 2,000 likes.
Yeah, we've been feeling the love recently.
So thank you to anyone on TikTok.
Yeah. Okay, well, this has been fun, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.